let's move on to a fresh topic because we had something announced yesterday. I think I don't think any of us were expecting this announcement. I wouldn't have been surprised if it happened for next season, but this season that's literally about to start, we have a schedule change, and that is the Charlotte Roval is now the Charlotte Oval once again in the playoffs. We have two Charlotte Oval races next season. Of course, we have the Coca-Cola 600, and I would assume the Oval once again be named the Bank of America 500, like how it was before the Roval and during the Roval. So maybe back to the Bank of America 500. But this also means no, and I mean no, road courses in the playoffs. The Roval would have been the only one. Last year we had two with the Roval and, of course, Watkins Glen, but Watkins Glen readjusted back into the schedule in a weirder place in the schedule. Check out one of our previous videos where we talk about that a little bit more. But the Roval's out, and I'm on the fence about this, but I want to get the Pacecar boys' thoughts on this. I'll start with this one with Cory. Cory, what are your thoughts on the Roval no longer being part of the schedule and being replaced with the Oval in the playoffs?
I'm going to focus on the positive. Racing at the Charlotte Oval is great. It's gotten better over the years. It is awesome. The best track. It's one of the best tracks to watch with this version of the car. So getting a second race at that track is awesome. That's just it's better than the Roval by a mile visually, and honestly, the racing is just better, especially with SVG dominating. If we get somebody that can challenge SVG closer, maybe the Roval will be nicer. But that aside, the Oval just is more entertaining and creates better racing, and they made the right decision doing that. And then the cons of this decision is more honestly, it's more the fact that there isn't a road course race in the playoffs, because I feel like you should have at least one,
I agree.
especially with it not being this knockout system. Like having a road course race somewhere in the playoffs is almost warranted. Only negative. It's a positive as a whole, as a race fan, and honestly, I feel like most of the competitors feel that way, unless you're a road course racer. But yeah, I mean, I just hope the one thing they do in the future, obviously, it's probably not going to be this year, but next year, is add a road course to the chase. Other than that, this is a great decision.
Fit perfectly into the chase. Road America. Yeah, I'm going to keep on doing that this year. Road America would be perfect. But Tyler, what are your thoughts on the Roval being gone and the Oval being back in the playoffs?
I mean, it's obviously clear right now that NASCAR is listening.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
we've been yelling about, they are listening hardcore and they want to fix it. And I'm down for it. The only person that I feel just slightly like, that kind of sucks because it probably was part of his plan was definitely SVG. I mean, we already
Oh, yeah.
know he's going to he's going to get a couple of wins. So he's already going to be checking for a championship on that. Like, if on a list of five, you can put him up there just because of road courses, right? But you take one of those out, and that starts getting really interesting for him. I think we see him win on an oval this year, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. But still, man, you know that man's not happy about that.
And Tyler gave a little bit of a tease to his bold predictions, which we will be doing some bold predictions a little bit next week and going through what happened with the chase. We have the chase back and a couple of the rule changes. We'll talk more about that stuff next week. But the Roval, I'm very mixed. I'm very mixed about it. I gave my thoughts about this last year when this came up last year because Junior had everybody up in arms about it. Because when Dale Junior says something, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" Everybody like pays attention. But I'm very mixed on the situation, I'd say, with the Roval. I do agree. The Oval is better racing. The Oval produces better racing. Potentially the best racing in this generation of car happens at the Charlotte Oval in the Coca Cola 600. But that is one of the reasons why I only want it to be one race. The Coca Cola 600 is a crown jewel event. and I want it to be a very special event. You only go to the Charlotte Oval once a year, and it's the Coca-Cola 600. That race means more. That's just the way I look at it. So that's why I was overall okay with there being a Roval compared to the Oval in the playoffs. That's why I was overall okay with that. But I do understand the other side of the other side of the coin as well, because the racing is a lot better at the Charlotte Oval compared to the Charlotte Roval. And then another point on the other side was, like Cory was saying, you removing the Roval off of the playoff schedule and replacing it with the Oval. There's no longer any road courses in the 10 race chase. There's not a single road course in the 10 race chase. And I think some would argue that's the correct way to do it, because NASCAR is not known for road courses. It used to be only 2 road courses a year or 3 road courses a year back when they had Riverside and a couple other places as well. And NASCAR wasn't known at all for road course racing. A lot of drivers and teams wouldn't even care about the road course race. That's why you had road course ringers. Then you had a couple of great Cup Series drivers that were just fantastic at road courses. So some would argue, like I said, Roval shouldn't be there. But if we want the most well-rounded champion, we should have a road course in there. As long as we're having multiple road courses on the schedule. I'm not here saying throw a dirt race in there. I'm saying throw a road course in there. And that's why this comes full circle. Road America needs to be on the schedule. I will beat this drum all day, every day for the rest of my life. Road America should be on the schedule. I say rest of my life because I don't think it will ever be back on the schedule again. I don't think it's ever coming back. It would have came back by now, I think. I'm depressed now. But let me know your thoughts in the What's up, Cory?
One of the things you mentioned that I just that saying that road courses shouldn't be in the playoff. And this isn't your point. You're saying some people would argue this point.
Yes.
But in the playoffs, because that's not what NASCAR was built off of. But like, if you're trying to grow as a sport and grow more fans and all that stuff, like, yes, you stay dedicated to the hardcore fans. And that's why they brought back the chase and got rid of the gimmicky playoffs that they've had the past few years. It's based off consistency. If the champion is not going to be eliminated just because there's one single road course race. And if they are, then they really need to get better at road courses. That's all that's going to prove. So, I don't know. That's the big negative of the Roval being out, is we need one in the playoffs or in the chase. I mean, it's overall a positive, but a little negative that can be adjusted next year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really think there should be a road course in the playoffs, and it should be Road America. That's the only option. There's no other option. Nothing. There's nothing. It's Road America. But there should be some sort of road course in the playoffs somewhere. That's my opinion as well. And I don't think it should be like a street course either. I think it should be an actual road course. Not anything gimmicky. Don't put anything gimmicky in the playoffs. You already have Talladega. That's it. No more. No more gimmicks in the playoffs. You have Talladega in there. And I'm not saying, well, Talladega in the playoffs it's kind of a gimmick, but when you have a super speedway in the playoffs, in my opinion, it kind of feels like a gimmick, or like, in a way, a huge obstacle, an unnecessary obstacle. I think that would be the best way to put it. An unnecessary obstacle is something like Talladega in the playoffs. And I don't want a street course in the playoffs, because that's just an unnecessary obstacle. So it has to be a proper road course. So that's what I would say. But let me know your thoughts in the comments and in the replies. What do you think about the Roval being out and the Oval being in at Charlotte Motor Speedway? Speedway Motorsports Incorporated and NASCAR pulled the trigger and shifted the schedule.